Okay then guys, and welcome to a same name different game. This time we're looking at Strider. Now Strider is obviously best known for being an arcade game, but it actually started off as a manga in Japan. And this actual version that you've seen now is obviously the Mega Drive version, which in itself is based on the arcade game. It's not as amazing a conversion as people used to make it at the time. It is, however, bloody slick. Shows you just how good the Mega Drive was. And you know, basically, if you have got the 16-bit console, you really need this in your collection. It really is that good. Basically, all the levels are included. There's if I remember correctly, all the boss battles from the end of the game aren't in it. I could be wrong though. It's been ages since I've got to the end of it. But it's just a really slick conversion. And one of the nice touches with it is, unlike the arcade game, there's actually additional music tracks that didn't actually appear elsewhere. Well, I'm not sure, we've gone over to another file, so this is obviously why there's a bit of a difference there, so apologies for that gap. So here we are, here's the first boss. Big huge snake guy that's made up of Russians, and he's got a sickle. Pretty damn impressive. I mean, one thing that's quite interesting with Strider is, because I do obviously know it's based on an anime game, but I've never read the comic, I don't know how much of the actual bosses are actually based on stuff from the cartoon, so if anybody can shed any light on that, you know, I'd love to hear. So here we are now on the greatest second level of all time. So much variety in this, that's absolutely fantastic. I mean, 1 minute you're fighting a gigantic gorilla. Look at the size of that thing. Alright, bit of flicker, but you give the monkeys, I don't. The next minute you're climbing up a cavern, then you're fighting somebody who looks a bit like Boba Fett. Alright, ever so slightly. Huge cog walls. It's just absolutely fantastic. And again, it's just typical of the inventiveness that Strider were putting out in the arcades in the 80s and early 90s. Some really stunning music coming up in a minute as well. So obviously Strider had quite a few home conversions. Arguably the best version is the Mega Drive one. There is a PC Engine one, but if I remember correctly, it's got some levels missing from it, and I think it's on the Super CD. The Amiga versions, the ST versions, the home versions, they're all by US Gold, by Teratix, and none of them are that hot, to be honest with you. So basically, if you want this definitive Strider experience, get this game, it's amazing. So what we've done there is we've just cut because I didn't want to show you me dying. And again, you know, the blackout is just, everything about this game is so distinctive, I absolutely adore it. Anyway, we're going to be moving over to the NES version now, so you can take a look at it. Now what's interesting with the NES version is, unlike the arcade outing and the subsequent home ports of Strider, this is actually more heavily based on the manga comic. So basically you've got characters who'll be well known to anybody who's read it. Again, apologies for the sounds, the audio is a bit funny here. I think it's to do with the fact that my laptop's rapidly running out of space, so the NES music normally sounds a little bit better than this. So basically you're being sent off on a mission to find somebody, and it's pretty good, to be honest with you. There's a few things that you'll instantly recognise. That Strider isn't as athletic as he is in the Mega Drive outing and the arcade version. He doesn't seem to have access to as many moves, but you know, when you consider the base hardware this is on, this is a pretty damn good effort. So what are we doing now? Again, I'm not sure why he starts off to the left, because you have actually got to go right. And if you carry on going to the left, there's nothing there. There's a bit of a Sonic Commando vibe going on here, so I'm not sure if it's just to do with the NES's sprite capabilities, or if it's just coincidental. But I am reminded of Bionic Commando on the NES when I was playing this. But it's pretty good. I mean, it's nice and fast. It's pretty slick. Decent animation, decent visuals, good backgrounds. Like I said, he hasn't got, you won't see any flipping around with this. There's a few really dodgy areas, like this bit here is a bit shit because basically I got stuck, so I just jumping onto the second level. Quite hard to get hold of. I'm pretty sure this didn't get a UK release. I certainly couldn't find any example of a UK release when I was checking around on the internet. But again, I'm happy to be proven wrong. But if you're a fan of Strider in general, and you just don't live or die by the arcade game, you'll find this to be pretty good. Speaking of Strider, basically, when are they going to bring out a new game? There was a lot of rumours going around that, obviously based on the success of Bionic Commando, that was going to be their next game, and that a Strider game was actually in production, and it got cancelled when they saw how poorly Bionic Commandos did. But take that with a pinch of salt, because it could all be the usual lies that you tend to hear floating around. But I'd love to just see one on Xbox Live Arcade. Anyway, this was Same Name Different Game, and this is